Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the virtual lunch party for the latest authors. You're looking at a few of them here. They're 18 altogether. They're the authors of this book, Made for More Too. And I don't know if they know this, but they've already hit bestseller status in at least one category, and the book just went live today. So I'm so excited. You're going to get to hear some of their stories. They're phenomenal physicians. They're all physician entrepreneurs, super pumped that they're here. The reason why they came together to write this book, and I'm so grateful that they did, is because we are in times when entrepreneurship is a vehicle that we have that allows us to live life and practice medicine on our terms, and these doctors have done exactly that. They have done that, and they get to share their story, and they get to share their story so they can be real life vision boards for physicians everywhere. So excited that you get to hear from them today. It's going to be an absolute blast. So today we have Dr. Magda on, Dr. Brenda Dinterman, we have Dr. Tolu Olabinton, and so you are in for a treat. So say hi in the chat. If you have not got your copy of the book yet, you want to go get it, you can go here, entremd.com/made for more, and grab your copy. Grab it for yourself, grab it for the doctors in your life. You get a book. Let us know in the comments. We want to shout you out and all of that. Okay, so I know you're not here to hear from me, you're here to hear from these amazing authors, so we're going to start off with them. And so I have questions for you guys. First of all, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself and then share with the listeners what is the biggest takeaway they will get from reading your chapter. So, Dr. Magda, you're all the way at the top, so I'll start with you. Okay, so introduce yourself, let the people know the biggest takeaway they would get from reading your chapter.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Una, for that introduction. And also thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this amazing book, Made for More 2. Made for More 1 was brilliant, so Made for More 2 is going to be the best yet, right? So for me, I'm a family physician in Miami, Florida. I am a public health educator and also a public speaker. And I was motivated to write my chapter on embracing joy, which is the podcast that I started. And it's such an important message. It really resonated with me. And because we are in times where there is a need for more joy in the world. We are as Americans, we actually rank very low on a happiness index. So a lot of us, even in the professional setting, even once you have made it, even once you have become a physician, there's still a lack of joy, and we see that every day. So I want people to take away from my chapter that joy is something that's accessible at every stage. It's not something that you have to get to. And it's something that we all have to prioritize. And it's easy to obtain it, but it's also easy to let it slip away. So it's something that I want you all to make a conscious effort, all of my readers, to make a conscious effort daily to embrace the joy that they have in their lives. So that's why I wrote my chapter, and I would like you all, everybody that's reading, to make sure you buy the book. All the listeners, make sure you buy the book, share it with a friend, and join my newsletter or podcast so that you can embrace more joy in your life as well.
All right. So in the times we live in where burnout is at an all-time high, loss of autonomy is at all-time high, and physicians are not talking about joy, your chapter will help you restore that. Okay. So thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for being a part of the book. And as she said, go get your copy, entremd.com/made for more. Big shout out on YouTube. We have Finding Joy in the Garden said, I got a book. So thank you for getting a book. Okay. All right. Next up, we have Dr. Brenda Dinterman. So introduce yourself. Let people know the biggest takeaway they would get from reading your chapter.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brenda Dinterman. I'm a board-certified dermatologist for over 30 years and now the CEO of Dermutopia and Dermutopia Wellness. And the reason I wanted to tell my story is one of my lifelong passions has been mentoring. And I never knew I was going to be a mentor because I started out just wanting to be part of a team, being part of a practice where someone else had set it all up. But what I've learned and what I want to teach you through my story is that life has other plans for you. And from that, it's the concept of learning to be adaptable, resilient, and in our family, we always add kind, but more importantly, to focus on what your true values are. And when we're young in medicine, we think our true values are to follow the rules and to do what we're told to do and to check off the boxes. But what really happened to me as early on as in my early first 3 years of practice is that I learned that you have to pivot and change and grow with the difficulties, the suffering, and all the opportunities that actually come to you through this. So I think that's the main reason I wanted to tell my story. In addition to the fact that I come from a father who's written 56 books. 56.
Your
And
dad wrote 56 books?
yeah, he may still write another, but he says he's done. And the joke in the family has been, you always seem to have a story. You want to tell your story. You tell your patient's story. I listen to my patient's stories. And then my husband said about 15 years ago, why don't you start with a paragraph? And if not for Dr. Una, that first paragraph had not been written. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Oh man. Okay, so first of all, this is 56 books, like, right? And I'm so happy that you've then gone forward to write your first, your husband said a paragraph, but at least you've done a chapter. And who knows, maybe you caught the bug and there's going to be book after book. But I really want to give Dr. Brenda a big shout out because, I've watched her over the years in the EntreMD Business School, and it's been a lot of fun to watch what she does, how innovative she is. And the fact that she is a true mentor, like she's a mentor to her team. She has many medical students who rotate with her practice. She's a mentor to her daughter who's followed in her footsteps, like so many things. And she just lives that. And so what you're going to get from her chapter is exactly what she said. And she has a lot of wisdom because Dr. Brenda, we won't say you're PGY, whatever, but you've been a physician for how many years now?
Oh, do I have to reveal that? Let me see if I can count that high. If you don't count medical school, 35 years. I'm entering my 35th year.
35th year, 35 years. And she's been actively doing stuff the entire time, starting practices, exploring different kinds of partnerships, starting a whole app, starting all kinds of things, writing a book and all of that. And so such an inspiration. You definitely want to dig in deep to her chapter. Yeah. Big shout out to you, Doc. Love it. Okay. Dr. Tolu, introduce yourself. Let the people know biggest takeaway they're going to get from your chapter.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. Thank you again, Dr. Una, for this privilege. I have to say I'm delighted, excited, and also glad to be here. But I'm Dr. Tolu Olabinton, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Living Spring Family Medical Center in the beautiful city of Mansfield, Texas, where I love to help patients with my team live a better quality of life, because I do believe the quality of life is just as important as the quantity of life. Now, in regards to the book, and before I even say that, I've been a physician for now 14, 15 years. I'm also a lifestyle physician. And one of the joys I've found in what I do is that I get to empower people to take care of themselves, spirit, soul, and body, and so live out the purpose for which God created them. And there's nothing more legacy building or powerful for me than that. So in regards to the book, what you get from the book is the power of your uniqueness, your uniqueness, and also the power of doing things in spite of fear. Fear does not necessarily have to stop you. Fear can be converted in the right environment to motivate you actually to do the things you're supposed to do, because there's success on the other side. There's growth on the other side, and there is living out your purpose on the other side of fear. And so in the book, I share my story, I share some of my struggles, I share some of my inadequacies, and let you know that it's in spite of that, I'm here. Today, I got the news of two of my foreign medical graduate students who shadowed with me and worked with me. They got in. I've had medical students get into medical school, pre-med students get into medical school, MA students. So because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, I'm helping other people also do what they're supposed to do. So in the book, you smell fear, but you see what has happened in spite of the fear. And that's why I'm so excited to share the story, because in seeing other people's story, I'm also here. And so I believe in you seeing my story, you get there. I don't know where there is for you, but you can get there too. So yes.
Yes, and I think I speak for everyone when I say one of the things that will stop us the most is fear. And the thing about every doctor here, when you read their story, you're like, oh my goodness, you're going to hear some of it today. Like they've done all these amazing things, but they still have fear. The fear is there, but they just didn't let it stop them anymore. And so it normalizes it. Like imagine where you're no longer thrown off by your fears, you dare your fears, you get things done. Absolutely amazing. So congrats, and make sure you want to grab the book, entremd.com/made for more. You want to read her chapter because it's amazing. It is the Fear Buster chapter. Okay. How about that? Okay. All right. Now I know Dr. Dinterman is, she has a number of things to do. Okay. So I want to ask her this question first before I let her go. Okay. When you think about it, entrepreneurship is something that as physicians, sometimes we don't identify as entrepreneurs. Sometimes we're like, it's super difficult. Like Dr. Tola alluded to, there's fear and all of those things. But for everyone here, you're doing it, right? You've done it and you're doing it. So on the other side, what has entrepreneurship made possible for you? And let's think tangible and intangible, right? What are the things that it has made possible for you?
Well, the main and the most important thing that entrepreneurship did for me was to give me the freedom to care for my family, to live my life the way I wanted to. And this meant from the very early days that no one could tell me I couldn't go to that Thanksgiving play. And that's pivotal. It was a pivotal moment in my life when I was very young. And with that came the ability to treat patients and care for them and create an environment that I wanted to live in every day, get up to be a part of. And I think it's interesting because many of us don't intend to be entrepreneurs. I had no interest in it, no intention. And my husband and I were just talking about it the other night. He's read all the books all his life. If I'd have just listened to him, he was reading so many of these books before. And I said, there's something wrong because Dr. Una has the ability to train so many different kinds of people to become entrepreneurs, and they're introverts and they're extroverts and they're creatives and their process. And I don't get it. Maybe she's found something different. And he said, no, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, values. He said that each one of them has that in them, that need, that spark to be more and to grow and to give in a way that many others don't have. It doesn't mean there's something wrong if you want to be part of a team, but if it's in you, you can't stop it. And that's what has been found over and over, even when things got very bad for me, that I had to leave something I had chosen to create, to sell, the big dream to sell and be big. And it wasn't right. And the other thing I would say is that because of coaching over the years, I know in one of the coaching groups, they taught us about limiting beliefs. And I had never heard the concept of limiting beliefs. And my biggest limiting belief was that I was too old to start over. And so we're never too old to start over, no matter whether it's for your health, your spirituality, your changes in your life, your business. And I think that in learning how perfectionistic and how sometimes stubborn we are at not wanting to do things differently, that it's been amazing. It's been amazing. So like I said, my husband said, nope, everyone has this spark. He goes, I don't even know them, but I've heard your stories. And I know that that is the common piece that's there. So thank you so much again, Dr. Una.
It's the spark. Okay, this is a whole master class because at this point we can actually end this and you got a lot out of it. But thank you so much for saying that. And you've been an entrepreneur for a while, but talking about the freedom, which is what we want as physicians. We don't want to not work. We don't want to, but we want freedom. And you're describing freedom to practice the way you want, freedom to live life the way you want, to invest time in your family, the things that are valuable to you, right? And we've watched you do this, right? We've watched you do this, and it's beautiful to see. But thank you for also pointing out the issues we have as doctors when it comes to being perfectionistic, right? Like we want it to be perfect. Or I've never quite described it that way, but I think I'm going to borrow it. I'll give you credit. The way we have this stubbornness, like we don't want to do things the way we haven't done them before. We want to do things a certain way. But if we're going to get into entrepreneurship, we do have to change the way we show up. There's so many things that need to change. And you spoke to something that I'm sure is a limiting belief for many, like I'm too old to start over, right? Because that too old starts at 25. How many of you know that, right? At 25, oh, I'm too old. Like I missed the boat, and we're not. And we're not. And you continue to innovate and you continue to inspire us. And so thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being a part of the book. And again, if you haven't got your copy, entremd.com/made for more. It's already a bestseller. There's a reason why. Go get your copy. Okay. So Dr. Dinterman, thank you so much for sharing that. Okay. Dr. Magda, we're going to come to you next. And so talk to us. What has entrepreneurship made possible for you? So think tangible, intangible. What has it made possible for you?
The biggest thing entrepreneurship has made possible for me is the ability to pivot and the mindset change, I would say. I am much less prone to disappointment or imposter syndrome, was what they say, which I don't really believe in. I got that also from Dr. Toomer, right? So imposter syndrome is not necessarily imposter syndrome, but that's a whole different discussion. But it's something that has allowed me to pivot in a way. So when I feel more like so as an employed physician, I started my entrepreneurship journey as an employed physician, and I feel that while I was simultaneously employed and learning the mindset and the concepts of being entrepreneur, I was able to practice within my employed position as an entrepreneur, meaning that I'm still working for myself even when I'm employed, because I have to represent myself in the best possible way, right? And I also, I am my biggest asset. So even when I am employed, I'm investing in my education. I'm investing in seeing how I can learn the most from this position in order to, for my future or for my family, how can I pivot from that? So that was what I really learned, the biggest takeaway from entrepreneurship. And when I was no longer employed, it helped me transition because we have a lot of changes happening with the government, different positions. And even as physicians, we are not, no job is 100% secure because you're not the boss. And if there's budget cuts, or if they want to go in a different direction, or if you don't agree on certain concepts, you're not going to be 100% secure there, right? So when I did have the opportunity to pivot, I was not in a woe is me place. I am in a place where I know my value 100, I know my strengths. I know that I can continue to grow, and I take every position that I've had for what it was, as a growth and learning opportunity for what it was. So that's what entrepreneurship has meant for me, especially in learning about all of the other physicians in this community, all of your ability to overcome difficult challenges and to persevere. That has also helped me to know that I can do this and I can move forward. Oh, I don't hear you, Dr. Una.
She's talking about being the boss of herself,
Yes.
right? And Dr. Barbara Joy is in the comments, cheering you on. She says, entrepreneurship set me up for entrepreneurship, and now life is grand. right? Like just, to that point. And so I'm so proud of you as an entrepreneur, because I know years ago I started talking about this. Like, what's an entrepreneur? I'm like, you go to work and all of that, but you show up like the boss you are. You work for You Incorporated. You don't work for anybody else, right? And so imagine being in a position where every job is seen as a growth opportunity. That's the way you described it. I love that, right? So it's like, it's not always me what they did to me and all of that stuff. Is like, okay, this is a growth opportunity. It is what it is. If there's another one, we'll do that. If entrepreneurship is the way we go, we do that. But you're never stuck. You're never a victim. You're never at a loss. You're never not in control because you're the CEO of Dr. You Incorporated. So this is just so beautiful. So beautiful. I love it. Love, love, love it. Okay. Well, let's bring on Dr. Sharita in the house. Like, I'm going to have you introduce yourself and then let us know, what has entrepreneurship made possible for you, tangible and intangible?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Una, for putting this book together, and thank you to my fellow authors. It's been such an honor to know you guys and to learn about your stories and to be inspired by you. I bring you greetings from Accra, Ghana, where I'm traveling this week with my family. So, the dark background is actually evening here. But I didn't want to miss the opportunity to participate in this momentous occasion with you guys. And so for me, I guess I'm supposed to say who I am first, right? So I am Sharita Gaskins Tillett. I am an OBGYN by training. I am the founder and CEO of Boss Lady Dream Builders, where I help high achieving women develop the mindset, tools, and strategies they need to build lives that they love. And for me, entrepreneurship has opened my entire world and made the impossible possible. Dr. Brenda talked about limiting beliefs, and I had a whole laundry list of limiting beliefs. But, being connected to the EntreMD community and learning to lean into my gifts and my potential has really made the possibilities endless. I now do things I didn't think would be possible. Honestly, I saw things very one-dimensionally before entrepreneurship. I saw that I was an OBGYN, or I am an OBGYN. I saw patients in the office, did surgeries, delivered babies, and I honestly thought that's all there would be to my career. I did not see it another way. And so I'm so thankful and grateful that this opportunity has really given me my life back and my freedom, and has just, helped me to learn the limitless possibilities that are available to me and to others. And I can't help but want to inspire other people to do the same.
Okay, you lost me at this word. Entrepreneurship gave me my life back. Please let me know in the chat, in the comments, if you're like, yes, I want that, right? I want that. This is so good. And I mean, this is called living life on your terms at its finest. You're in Ghana, right?
Yeah.
And you will be part of the Ghana and the Nigerian jollof conversation in no time while you're there.
Yes.
You and Toby we'll have to dig that one out. But man, I am so, and you talked about being one dimensional. I think that's a very important thing, because as doctors, we're like, I'm a one trick pony, right?
Yes.
This is all I can do and all of that stuff, but it's not all we can do, right? We're very talented and we can stack on new skills. And the thing is, we have evidence that we are great at learning. So it's like, okay, I could do this. So I can thrive as an entrepreneur. I can thrive, like you do events. I can thrive at that. You have a membership. I can thrive at that. You show up live every day. I can thrive on camera. And like, I don't know if you were doing videos or anything pre-EDS.
Oh no! I was hiding, Dr. Una. You know me well enough at this point to know there was no camera involved in my life before I met you people. I was definitely.
She says there was no camera involved. Okay,
No, I did no videos. I really had the passion and the desire to do events, but I didn't have the belief that I could actually pull it off.
Okay, so now you're just dropping so many gems. So this is what I want everyone to think about. What are the things that I have the passion and the interest and the desire to do, but I haven't been able to bring myself to do? That's what this book is about. It's going to show you how you're made for more, you're wired for more. Those desires and passions don't go away because you're wired to do them. So we're waiting for you. And yes, you're going to need to overcome limiting beliefs. Yes, you're going to need to overcome fear. But you had limiting beliefs before you became a doctor, right? You had imposter syndrome, if you will, when you were thinking about medical school. Yet here you are. And so we've done it once, we can do it again. So thank you so much for sharing. I can't wait we're going to tap a lot of yumminess out of this. This is going to be good. Okay. Dr. Tolu, talk to us. What has entrepreneurship made possible for you, tangible and intangible?
You know, it's so interesting. Entrepreneurship it stretched me, but it didn't break me. And that's one of the things I love about it, because it increased my capacity as a human being. I'll be honest with you, when I started, I didn't think that was possible. And I remember one of my spiritual mentors, she had told me, and given me, one of the things I do, I'm able to mentor women across the globe virtually, and I meet with them monthly. And she had asked me to do more. And I was like, I mean, don't you see how busy I am? She said, increase your capacity. And I didn't know that that was possible. But with entrepreneurship, now I'm a better steward of my time. And I'm always looking for ways in every situation I'm in, even with fun. How can I create a win for me, for my audience, for those who are going to watch me later, and even for strangers? And so the way I think is different. I'm always looking for creative ways to maximize the gift of time. It's improved my self-care, because I understand the importance of stewarding this body that God has given me so I can live out my purpose. All right. It's helped me with financial freedom. I want more financial freedom, but now I can fund projects that matter, that are near and dear to my heart, without blinking. I don't need people to tell me what is important to me, because I understand that better as an entrepreneur.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to need you to say that again. I don't need people to tell me what is important to me. I know, like, say that again. That was so good. I want to make sure nobody missed it. That is powerful.
Like, I don't need people to tell me what's important to me, because I've lived for a while as a people pleaser, and it's what's on your agenda for me. And it's not a selfish thing. It's because the assignment I've been given, because for me, my what I do is, it's not a job, it's a lifestyle, it's a ministry, it's purpose. I find joy in it. Now, some days I hate the administrative burden, but that's a whole different topic. But now it's not, what do you have in store for me? It's, okay, what will God have me do today? What's important? What's number 1, 2, 3? And what's a non-negotiable for the day? Now, distractions come, but entrepreneurship has helped me hone that skill better. So I'm better at saying no to distractions, even the beautiful ones. And I'm able to, my son, I will never forget, last year was my 40-something birthday. I'm going to tell you how old I am. And so one of the things I've learned to do is with birthdays is I like people to know their value on their birthdays. I don't wait till you're dead, then I start singing this epiphany. So it's on your birthday, I tell you how much. So they reciprocated it. And my son said something that shocked my mom. He said, Mommy spends quality time with me, even with how busy she is. So my mom later would text me to understand how the heck is he saying you do that with how busy I see. My mom's on social media. She's always liking my posts. And she's like, how's he saying that with how busy I know you are? And then I let her in on a little secret. I said, Mom, I have a team. I partner with Holy Spirit. That's one. But I have a team of people who work with me. And she's like, oh my gosh, I was wondering, like, do you sleep? Because she worries. So that gave her more peace of mind, just helping her understand. I have learned with entrepreneurship, I need team, steward of time, and all the things. And so for me to hear that, it means I'm doing what I'm doing. Well, of course, there's room for improvement, but I haven't had that in years. So that was big. Yes.
Wow. Okay. So again, in a time when people are talking about a loss of autonomy, people are talking about extreme burnout, people are talking about sacrificing family because they're doctors, or because worse, they're doctors and entrepreneurs. Here you are with your son of his own free will, without being prompted, telling you that Mommy spends quality time with me. And it's not because you don't have a lot on your plate, but you've learned how to live a full life, a complete life, where you're killing it as a physician, you're killing it as an entrepreneur, you're killing it as you know, as a parent, you're taking care of yourself. You feel like you're living in your purpose. This is called being alive. You know what I mean? Like that's literally what you described. And for you to be in that position is just mind blowing, right? Because apparently you're not supposed to have a life anymore when you become an entrepreneur, but here we are, right? And so again, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being a part of the book. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to put this up. If you haven't got your copy of the book, you can scan the QR code, grab your copy. Okay. If you want to go to the website, it's entremd.com/made for more. But this book is a book you want to read, and it's an easy read, right? It's an easy read. You want to read it, but it's not about fluff. It's showing you that the things that you've dreamt of, the things that you desire, they are possible, they're available. Yes, there's some things that are going to need to change, but you can change them. You can change them. Okay. Dr. Tolu is that. Dr. Tolu, someone might go like, yeah, but that's because you've always been an entrepreneur. You always did this stuff. You came from a family, a long line of entrepreneurs, and you were handed all these silver spoons and all this stuff. So I want you are a unicorn, but I want you to de-unicornize yourself. Okay. So people can see your regular folk like me, you like everyone else.
Okay. I will speak to the fact that my mom had a consignment store, and I usually, after school was assigned, I used to give out stuff free. I'm like, Mom, I think they needed it. Like, Mom, like that was too much. She's like, how are we going to make money? And in my head, like, well, I mean, I didn't do the math. So she didn't like me in this. She was like, you're too friendly. So that was one. And then two, I actually have medical school classmates who reached out to me and said, I heard you run a practice. And I'm like, I know, it's funny. Even me, I'm shocked that I run a practice because I was mission trips, like traveling. That was my thing, like doing numbers. And no, I love seeing patients, but the admin stuff and then leading people, I mean, no. So, and this is what's exciting for me. I'm even more excited to see who else I can become. Now I have 2 dogs. For some of you, that's not a big deal, but people still call me, you have what? Yeah, I got 2 golden doodles. I would never have thought about it. And I keep stretching myself, seeing how I've morphed. I'm thankful for who I am now because 5 years, 10 years ago, who I was would not recognize who I am now. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So again, I want everyone to hear this, right? Who I am now would not recognize who I was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And for everybody on here, the truth of the matter, like every physician, this is my desire for you, that a few years from now, and Dr. Magda will say the same thing, Dr. Sharita has already said the same thing. A few years from now, you will not recognize the person you've become because there's so much in us. I just turned 46. Unlike Dr. Tolu, I just tell all my business, right? I just turned 46. What is it? Almost 3 weeks ago. And when I stopped to think, like, what is the thing? What's the domino? What's the thing that is changing everything? So for me, that's outside of my relationship with God, right? Like, what is the thing? And the thing is becoming. Okay, I'm back. Apparently I went somewhere. Can you guys see me, hear me? Oh my goodness. Okay. We're going to get it together. Okay, you guys can see me? I'm good now? Okay. All right. So it's becoming. This is the most important thing that's happening here. Okay. So I'm going to pass this on to, did everybody go? Everybody went. Okay. So next question. I want you to take people on a ride, right? So talk about a time when you had failure, right? Failed projects, because again, everybody thinks you're a unicorn. So talk about that. And then I want you to talk about, on the other side of it, some big victory that you've had, right? So both of them, so people can see that these two things can happen concurrently. Okay, concurrently. So Dr. Sharita, who is hanging out in Accra, we're going to start with you. we'll start with you.
You know,
So
as I think
your
about
work
it,
something that works so well.
Yeah, yeah. As I think about it, there have been honestly so many failures. If I go all the way back to, applying to medical school, I tell people, many people don't know, I actually applied to medical school 3 times because, as an undergraduate, I just didn't have the right mindset. I didn't have the determination and the discipline and the drive. And, the desire was there, but the other things were missing. And so, I could have given up at any point along that path, but someone told me, described it this way, that once the medicine bug bites you, it never leaves you alone. And so I just had that gnawing, that and a gnawing and a knowing. So I had a gnawing to keep going, but I also be an effective physician if I were just opportunity. And so, obviously here I sit. So, I made it through med school. That, to me, that was probably the first big round of failures. And really what I had learned during that was that I didn't have to give up on my dreams, but I needed to keep up leveling my skills. And so there may be things that you want to do, but maybe you're not quite where you need to be. That could be mindset wise, that could be skill wise, or whatever. It doesn't mean that that's off limits to you, but it does mean that you need to up level your skill set so that you're equipped to do the things that you need to do. So that was, like I said, the first big round of failures. Now, the next was trying to run a retreat. So, I have retreats, I host retreats in tropical locations for high achieving women, and it is my passion, my purpose, and my joy. But the first retreat the first retreat I launched was before I knew anything of EntreMD, before I knew anything of coaching. But I had the desire. I really wanted to gift women this kind of experience because I just heard too many stories of women who didn't feel like they were enough and didn't know their worth and their value. And I wanted to give them that experience. I wanted them to leave knowing that they were more than enough and that they could do, be, or become anything that their heart desired. And so I put it out there. Dr. Una has a saying, if you build it, they won't come. So I built it and they didn't come because again, as I mentioned earlier, I was a hider. So I was hiding on social media. I didn't, I really, like, even the promotional materials for that event, my face does not appear on any one of them. I did not one video in support of that event. And so in hindsight, it's no wonder that it was a complete flop. And, again, I could have given up at that point. In full transparency, I lost lots of money and, my feelings were hurt and all of those things. So I could have at that point said, you know what, this is done. This wasn't meant for me. I don't know why I thought I could do this. I can't. But instead, I won't lie and say that I immediately got back to it. I stepped aside and licked my wounds for a little bit, but I stayed open to the idea. And I think that that's such a crucial thing, that once you become open to an idea, the world will begin to show you the how. And so I, encountered coaching. And once I did coaching and met other people and saw the impossible become possible for them, then I knew that it was possible for me. And this year I will be hosting my 5th retreat in Grand Cayman in October. And they have just been like a dream come true. I just can't even, I can't even articulate. I as one of the exercises I've done in coaching, I write out how I want people to feel when they attend the retreats. And honestly, when I look at what I wrote versus what they say, I hit the nail on the head.
Okay, I'm not sure what we do with that, okay? Because again, Dr. Street is just dropping gems. So listen to this. She said, don't give up on your dreams, up level your skill. For everyone watching, for those of us on here, to think about, what have I given up on? What have I quiet quit on? So it looks like I'm still doing the thing, but I quit, right? When I see a place that is so challenging that I want to quit, the response is not to quit. The response is to say, what new skill do I need to acquire? What new mindset do I need to acquire? How do I need to evolve so I can become the kind of person who pulls this stuff off? This is so powerful, so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. So we talked about of something that failed, and we talked about something that we wanted. So, Dr. Magda, you're next.
Okay, so failure. All right. Not my favorite subject, right? Because who wants to talk about failures? Nobody. But with this group, we are able to talk about our failures, which allows us to face them and move forward, which is just such an important lesson. For me, one of for me, I as far as like getting into med school, that wasn't an issue for me, but it was in terms of I had a feeling that I couldn't do it right away, right? And it's not just a feeling, it was I had to take time to make my application what it needed to be. So I didn't apply until I had checked all the boxes, which was resulted in a delay, right? So delay is not denied. So I had about a 2-year delay from undergrad to medical school, where I had a different path, and that was okay. So I was able to study abroad for 4 months in Morocco, learn a lot of different things. I was able to, and speaking of which, that does bring me to the point where the reason for that was because I was told in my biology class that I should pivot. I should not be pre-med because I made a B minus. So that changed my whole trajectory. Because I made that first B minus, I delayed my going directly from undergrad to medical school. And I'm somebody who did multiple things. So I was an international studies major, I was pre-med, and I was also community building and social change scholar. So I had I was doing a lot of things in one. So when I was told I should consider not going to medical school, I took a break to think about it, to lick my wounds as well. And then I ended up doing the international studies route, studying abroad, and then realizing that it was a calling for me. It's something that I truly wanted to do. And even when I was in Morocco with the host family, the son of the host family I was with had a condition that they couldn't figure out. And they brought the lab work to me, but it's not something that I could help with because I was, just a pre-med student at that time when I didn't understand. But it pushed me more to know that, yes, I do need to study medicine. So I persisted. So whenever something does come up, like that, or I am able to realize like, hey, it's a delay, but it's not a denial. It's a different path. And I gained so much more strengths. So when it was time to apply to medical school, I was a unique applicant, right? I had that time abroad. I had time working. So after I graduated, I worked in public health with a NGO called Management Sciences for Health. I also did work in a restaurant, where I learned my community, customer service skills. So that's why I have great customer service skills. So all of those things helped me to be a top applicant when I did apply to medical school, and I was able to get into a lot of schools. So that was one incident of where a perceived failure was actually something that turned out for my good. And it seems like in the course of my life, anytime there is a perceived failure, it ends up turning out for my good. So when I look back, I'm like, oh, that was not the only time. Where there was a time where I was stressed, or I felt like I was done wrong, or I had to pivot from a job. So that was another incident where it's a perceived failure, right? I've experienced feeling burnt out from a position during the pandemic. So with that, what it taught me was I needed to really embrace caring for myself, which I didn't really understand as a new graduate. So that was my first year out of residency. I was a medical director for a clinic, and during the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit. So I had all these ideas of how I should practice and how I should be. And every day, regardless of how I was feeling on the inside, I was like, well, I'm going to put on the smile. I'm going to be the best for my patients. People would ask how I'm doing. I said, great. Inside, I was not doing so great. And then the pandemic came, and I didn't have those coping mechanisms that I needed to be successful, because if I don't tell people that I'm not good, then how do I have a supportive community to lift me up? I don't, right? I'm always that one that's lifting everyone else up. So then it has a toll. So those are things that I've learned. So it's a perceived failure, but it led me to care for myself in ways that I would not have before. And it helped me do that in an earlier stage, because I see now, like, physicians are going through that, over 20 years in practice, and now they're learning to care for themselves. I learned in the first few years, and I'm grateful for that, because it changed my whole career trajectory, because I do want to practice in a way where I'm able to work for many years, right? I don't want to be in a position where I die early because I'm not caring for myself. And a lot of physicians can pass away prematurely because they're not taking care of themselves. So self-care, finding that joy every day and in different parts of our lives. So all of those things came from a perceived failure, or perceived like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not doing great at this. So I had to learn to combat perfectionism. I had to learn to continue forward. One of my mottos is forward always, right? So continue to move forward. You look back, but you keep going forward, and it's never too late. As Dr. Brenda said, it's never too late to pivot, to do something new, and to care for yourself. Because those thoughts of it's too late, I'm not good enough, or that's just a trap to keep you stuck. And when there is a failure, just realize it can be a redirection to something that's better. And it usually is.
All right.
That's it.
I guess I'll go ahead. I have to say, just like Dr. Magda, and thank you so much for sharing. I took notes from what you said. Admitting the mistakes is not always exciting, but I've understood in entrepreneurship and mentoring that if you don't share them, you don't learn from them. And gleaning support from other people who can resonate with your struggles is powerful. So for me, the mistakes, number one, is the whole money mindset shift drama. I was the doctor that didn't collect co-pays. I was the doctor that didn't let people sign in. I actually had patients come recently annoyed that now I collect co-pays in the clinic. I would waive off things like, oh yeah, we just waive it off. Didn't look at numbers, didn't check how much I was spending, because when I started the practice, I was working at a different practice to support. So I figured, and I assumed, being a good doctor, that people would naturally just find me in the corner that we were in Mansfield. But that didn't happen. And one day it became okay, how much revenue have you brought? And it was actually more on the negative side than any. And so I have since learned on the other side of that it's important to look at the numbers. That's important to keep your clients accountable to. It's important to know the service you're rendering and expect payment for it. The same way I'd go to a store, I want to buy healthy fruits and vegetables, and I just walk out. There's an expectation to pay on the way out. To normalize that doesn't make me a greedy physician. It makes me a successful physician who's empowering patients, empowering her team, and also being blessed too. So it's a win-win for everyone. So it was a tough lesson, and that lesson has scaled in different ways. I'm doing better now. I look at numbers. I actually have someone who's obsessed with my CEO. He's obsessed with numbers and details. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to let you run with that. But I have to pay attention to look and say, okay, what's the data I actually need? Is it work? Is it enjoyable? No, I rather just see patients and walk away. But I can't. So I've accepted that truth. The second one I would say was with team. I just recently shared that I lost a very important, all of them are important to me, but there's one I actually got really close to. She's been with me the longest. I lost, she left. And that shook me and hurt. And it created more mind drama. Can I lead? If people leave me, what does that mean? Will people stay? How do I survive? But what I learned through the systems I learned in EBS is creating systems, SOPs, and having a place where it's stored. My goodness, we have I'm glad that I listened to that and had people recording all their training, because now it's a matter of you watch this one, let's do a test run. I'll have you prep with me, and then you go. And I've seen that when I don't empower all team members in their capacity, it can be costly. But now with that team member gone, I'm discovering the talents in my team. And so those are the blessings. And then the mind drama, oh my goodness. I wish it's unending. I hope I remember this. Maybe I should go watch this later so I can take notes too. The mind drama never ends. And I've struggled with mind drama, started the practice, running the practice, being a physician. Can I hire people? Can I keep people? It's unending. And so the lesson is having a community to be vulnerable. This year, I just decided it was be a year of exceptional vulnerability, where in the right spaces, I open up completely and unashamedly. I thought I was doing it before, but this year I promised to do it better. And I've already seen the results, because in the right community, they tell you what's still working. They remind you what's still working. They tell you that, oh, I've been there. I know what it feels like. I resonate. Private messages based on that same, hey, I've been there. You can overcome this. Here's a tip. Here's a virtual hug. So the lessons from that mistake of wallowing mind drama and self-pity alone, now it's like, no, share, but in the right spaces. Yes. Thank you.
Share, but in the right spaces. In the right spaces. I love it. Love it. And thank you for saying that the mind drama never ends. It never goes away. I know people come up to me, clients will come up to me and they're like, I should have outgrown this. I'm like, no, you qualify for new mind drama, but the mind drama is not going anywhere. It's here to stay. You know what I mean? So at the $100,000 level, mind drama. You get to 250, a new level of mind drama. 500, new drama. 1 million, new drama. It's just drama, right? And so that's not. Thank you for saying that, for normalizing. Someone's here like, I've been at this for 5 years. I shouldn't still have drama. I've talked to people who are running $500 million businesses, and I will tell you what they have: drama. Okay. So let's talk about this. What advice would you give the doctor who thinks they're one trick pony? Let's talk to these docs. Okay. So Dr. Sharita, we'll start with you. The doctor who thinks they're a one trick pony.
Well, I guess first,
only doctor. That's it. I can't do anything.
Well, first, I would point out to them just how many transferable skills we as physicians have. And I think, that again, that was a big thing for me when I transitioned. Initially, my first pivot was from full spectrum, full-time OBGYN to OB hospitalist. And, there were stories that I was telling myself about the possibilities for me. And so I think the very first thing would be to reassure them that there are so many skill sets that they have that transfer to other industries. We're great learners, as Dr. Una mentioned, excellent customer service. We care about people. We're really smart. Let's just, let's be honest. We're really smart people. And there's very few things that we can't figure out, if you have a heart for it. So I think that's the first thing. And then the second thing would be to gain some clarity. And so what I do with the women on my retreat, because that's part of what we do there, is I have them imagine a world where there are no red lights, only green lights, that the possibilities are endless. What do you really want your life to be? Because there's so many of us, I think, until I started coaching, I don't think anybody ever asked me what I really envisioned for my life. And I don't know that I had an idea. There were pieces that I knew about. Yes, I want to host retreats. Yes, I want to be a doctor. Yes, I want to be a mom. There were things that I knew I wanted, but I didn't have like a clear vision of what I wanted my life to look like. And, what does the Bible say? Where there is no vision, the people perish. And that's so true. You have to have that clarity and that purpose, and to be walking towards something. We are, as human beings, are purpose driven, people. And so, we need to have a goal that we're working toward.
And that's so powerful. She's like, you're already not a one-trick pony, so let's not get this twisted here. Okay. Like, I love that. Okay. Dr. Magda, what's your take? What do you tell the doctor who thinks they're a one-trick pony? And if you haven't gotten your copy of the book yet, entremd.com/made for more. Okay, let's support these amazing doctors, and it is a book that will change your life. Okay, so the book went live today. These doctors are already best-selling authors. They already have 5-star reviews. It's amazing. So go ahead, Dr. Magda.
Right. So, physician, I mean, all of us as human beings are not one-trick ponies, right? So that's, if we're in a factory and we have to press one button and the other person presses another button, right? That's what I think about when you think of like one trick pony. We're human beings with a wide range of skill sets, with a wide range of desires and hopes and things that we can contribute. So even as a physician, you can become highly, highly specialized where you only work on the right hand, right? Not the left hand. Certain orthopedics may say that, but I'm a family physician. So I know most family physicians, we know that we're not one trick ponies because we care for the whole gamut from birth till death. But you can do something outside of your everyday practice. You can do something outside of medicine. And that takes time management. It takes not giving all of your energy to your everyday just work. And then maybe you're staying up late, you're not taking care of your health. So you don't have that extra energy to devote to your passions outside of your employed position. So we're not one trick ponies. It's a fallacy to say that you are a one trick pony as a physician or as any human being. We are born with a wide range of gifts, and it's important for us as human beings to bring as much as we can into fruition, because that's part of our purpose here on earth, is to bring what we can into fruition, to make a difference here in our lives, our families' lives, and hopefully to improve humanity in some way. Even if it's just, you are doing something positive in your community. And of course, that has a ripple effect. It doesn't have to be you're going out to a different country to help there. Even if that's something that you're passionate about, it's about finding what you can and doing what you can within your circle of influence. I say that to say it's a fallacy. You're not a one-trick pony. You can do more, and you were made for more. So get the book, Made for More.
Get the book. You're not a one-trick pony. Okay. entremd.com/made for more. And if you are getting so much out of this conversation, because I'm like, I wish I could take more notes, right? If you're getting a lot out of this conversation, I want you to let them know in the chat. Let the authors know in the chat. They took time out of their day to come and just drop gems. So Dr. Dinterman and Dr. Tolu, we're going to take this we're going to take a little bit of a tangent with this question, right? Someone is thinking, like where I am now, this is where I am. Like I'm static. I've arrived, right? And it could be they want to start a business, or it could be like, okay, my business it's been at 100,000 for 4 years. I want to take it to 500,000 or $1 million, but I can't do that, right? Like I can't do that. Now for both of you, and that's for everybody on here, actually all the authors, you've reached those points and you're like, nah, I'm going to raise the ceiling. I'm going to raise the ceiling. How does someone even begin to approach that? Right. So Dr. Dinterman, I'll start with you.
So you're asking, how do you approach moving to your next goals, to raising the ceiling? Is that my understanding?
Yes.
Okay. I think that you go back again to your values. You go back to what you're trying to achieve. For me, I could easily talk myself out of a lot of growth being done. Why am I not content? Why am I not just ready to be as is? But there's so many reasons. First of all, I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave a legacy to my family. I want to leave a legacy for my patients, for them to know that I was courageous enough to start over, to give something back to the medical community that I see many people are afraid to do. That being said, I do not want people to feel shame if they're not ready to have change in their career. And I will talk people out of having change at certain points in their career. I'll say, you're not ready. Your teenagers need you right now. You need to have stability. Your husband is sick. But then to know that they are not a one-trick pony, that they can move on, grow, and they just need to keep connected to communities, to people who are creative and growing. That's a little bit more of the answer to the previous question. But I think that what's driving me is I do think that I have more to give. And right now my growth is maybe I can help somebody along. Maybe I've been mentoring people to go to medical school, and now I need to mentor physicians. I need to give them the opportunity because I'm comfortable with being the marketer. I'm comfortable with being the one looking at the profit and loss statement. It doesn't scare me. It never has. But maybe I can help them, give them a hammock, a protection, so that they can grow within my world. And maybe that sounds funny to say, it never scared me to look at the profit and loss. I think it's like anything. I looked at it every day, every week from the beginning, because we had to live on $50,000 for the two of us and a baby the first year. And I said, I'd rather work at McDonald's than be where I was. So it never scared me because I thought I'll live within my means until I get to where we want to be. So I think that that's something, a message that we have to give people. Just, again, overcoming fear, finding people that bolster you, reaching out, not being afraid. I don't know the number of times that I reach out to people on Facebook, Instagram, before we had that, through an email or at an event, and then asking for help. So I think we have to be humble and confident and be willing to be vulnerable to ask for help. And that's also means that you have to be in safe spaces. Safe spaces are groups like this. Safe spaces may be a spiritual group you have. They may be certain colleagues. And again, getting off topic, but I think doctors, again, are afraid to ask for help. We think we're all supposed to know. And so the growth and the jumping forward, the next steps come with great fear, but we have to look for who can bolster us around us.
Oh man, there we go. Normalizing fear again, right? Because it's part of the journey. So thank you for saying that, right? Yes, there's fear, and there's nothing new there. As you were talking, Dr. Brenda, I pulled up the book. If you haven't got your copy, get your copy, Made for More. And I was like, I bet. I thought I remembered, but I was like, let me check. I was like, I bet her title has values in it. Guys, every time you talk to Dr. Brenda, values are going to come out, and her title is Learn Your Values. Okay. So this is a chapter you want to make sure you read because you need to understand your values. This is important. Super important.
And how integrity makes you change lanes.
Oh man. See there. Okay.
Listening to keeping your integrity is what helps you go in the right lane, the right path.
Guys, get your book, read her chapter. I'm telling you, so much wisdom there. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Brenda. Thank you so much. Okay, Dr. Tolu.
All right. So I'm going to just real quickly, the one trick pony thing. Look at Dr. Una. I'm not going to talk about myself. Look at the ex-introverted introvert. I did not believe that she was till a friend of hers who went to medical school with me, she was like, I don't even know who this person is. She was very quiet, usually sit herself. She liked to read. And so to see you on the stages you're on and to see you come this far, even I still see the introvert in you though, because you retreat. But to see you do the things in spite of your natural bent, oh no, the sky is not even the limit. So just watching her inspires me. Okay, so you're not a one-trick pony. It's just staying in the right rooms will bring out those seeds in you, and we're so dynamic as humans. Now, as far as going to the next level in business, for that person who is listening, I will first say this, and one of the things Dr. Una does very well is not to do the fluff as far as it's going to cost you, right? So you count the cost. So there's a price to pay for the stretch, for the growth. For me, I can't watch TV, no value. I'd rather read. So I don't miss it. I'm not suffering. For me, now I have to schedule time with people that are important to me. It hurts to do that, I'll be honest, because I'm a natural extrovert, but I understand for the price I had, or for what I need to do, it's a price I need to pay. And I usually send a voice note. Is that okay? Would you mind if I schedule time so I can? So those things. So there's a price to it. You wait, and every season would demand different things. It's just the grace to adjust. My house is not as clean every time as I want it to be, because I used to have OCD about it. But the kids are happier and the dogs are happy. My white carpet is no longer white. I'm okay. A little bit more. I'm okay with it. But that's the price for what's now. Yeah. So you come to my house, it smells like dog. It's okay. Like I have a clinic coming, but it's okay. That's the price. So understanding what will cost you and being willing to shift is important. Number two, I have learned, I used to wonder when before I joined EBS, she would say stuff. You just do this 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like, man, she make it sound so easy. Like, nah, it has to be. But the hard part is the consistency. What you're doing now can be improved upon. You don't have to do something really dynamic. You don't have to have 5 more practices, because that would stretch you. It could be you got to optimize the one little one that you have. Are we collecting all the time? Is my front desk focusing on the person, or she distracted by phone calls? So do I need to get a virtual assistant to handle the phone calls? So when she sees them, she's, hi, so glad to see you. You are not a burden. We're excited to have you come in. So it's, how can I optimize what's now and make it a masterpiece before I replicate it? So go back to what's your way? What's your process like? And then optimize that. Even in doing that consistently, and I cannot overemphasize it. Dr. Una has us reading books. I'm always looking for an epiphany in every book. Outside of the Bible, there's not really. The consistent theme is consistency. It's consistency. Can you stay doing the same thing over and over again for as long as it takes to yield the results? That's the challenge. And so when people are saying, oh, I got this new thing and this new thing, can you stay with one coach and work with them and work with them and work with them and draw strength, seeing the stories over and over again? And watch the progress. Don't just look at the now. I keep telling people, go watch my video, my first live. I told people this was my first live. I had to, because I was like, ooh, hi. Yes, go watch their beginning so you can see. Mr. Beast is, apparently, I read the book, he's the bomb. He was doing this for 15 years or 14 years or 12 years in his basement somewhere, unseen, unknown. But no one reads that piece. Consistency. Who has done it? Watch them. What are they doing? Who are they reading? What are they following? And draw strength from that and keep improving upon. You never arrive yay, we're here. No, there's always something to fix. So that's the mindset, because instead of freaking out, look, I thought we perfected this. Nope. Something dropped, something we missed. There was an issue. And that's why I love feedback from patients. I mean, I'm like, okay. One of them were telling me, like, I had a television. He's like, look, doc, I love you, but your team is asking me the same questions I already did with the self-checking. I thought, that's the whole purpose of the self-checking, so they don't have to ask me the questions. I said, what, this is helpful. I said, what else? He kept going. I'm like, oh, man, it's a lot. But I took notes and told my team, all right, when they're self-checking, just confirm. You don't need to go through the whole thing. It's a time waster. And he clearly doesn't like his time wasted. So it's improving upon the construction system or the construction site and scaling. Yeah.
Can you guys clearly see why you need to go get copies of this book? I mean, we got 18 authors. You've met 4 of them for less than an hour. Get your book. It's right side up now. Okay. But man, I want to say thank you to every single one of you. Dr. Magda, Dr. Sharita, Dr. Tolu, thank you to you, because you are vision boards for the physician community. You are amazing. You're building businesses that are like, they're things that were dreams for physicians, but now it's a reality because of what you do. So thank you so much. Guys, show them some love in the chat. So when they go back, they can read it, get a copy of the book. Let us know you got it. When you're done reading chapter 1, leave us a review, because I mean, it's just gangbusters from chapter 1. Okay, leave us a review. And again, for everyone, I'm so proud of you guys. Congratulations on becoming best-selling authors today, right? Today, the 18th of March, and many more books, especially for Dr. father had this stage for her to have many, many, many books. Have many, many, many books. One of you guys go get your copies, and we will see you on